What's up, supporters? Jake Smith here, the Everything Buckeye Nation show. Happy Monday evening. It's about 6:30 when I'm recording this. Hope it finds you well. Let me know how you're doing in the comments section. The Ohio State Buckeyes are 7-0 and up to third in the AP poll, setting up a major showdown with Wisconsin this weekend, who absolutely blew it on Saturday against Illinois. If you didn't know already, Wisconsin lost in dramatic fashion to Illinois Saturday in the noon slot. I don't know if they were looking ahead. I don't know what they were doing, but they sure as hell didn't look like the number 6 team in the country, and I'm kind of upset about it, and here's why. Okay, I'm hearing a lot of talk about why it's okay. Ohio State, just control what you can control. You'll be in. While I agree with that, here's why I think that hurts the perception of Ohio State. Clearly, if Wisconsin came in this Saturday at noon for a number 3 versus number 6 matchup, and Ohio State beats them by 2 or 3 touchdowns, that's going to look really good for Ohio State and maybe even vault them up into the top 2. Now, instead, Wisconsin falls all the way to 13, and it's a 3 versus 13. Still a good game, but not the national perception you would think with two 7-0 teams colliding with, the front runner for the playoff out of the Big Ten coming out of it. So instead of that, Wisconsin blows it against a lowly Illinois team that was 2-4 coming in, that got beat by teams like EMU, Eastern Michigan. Like, give me a break. Illinois, really? Lovie Smith? I'm happy for those kids. I am, especially seeing the look on the kicker's face. I was watching it with my wife, Laura. We were out to eat, and I remember thinking right before he kicked it, I was like, I don't want Wisconsin to lose this game. But I also would feel so bad for that kicker if he misses that. I mean, he's going to think about that for the rest of his life. I'm glad he made it for his sake. He was getting carried off by his teammates on their shoulders. Got the post-game interview, the kicker. That's got to be a special moment for that kid. One he'll never forget. So big ups to that kid for making that kick, drilling the game winner. But I just wasn't impressed with Wisconsin. I didn't watch a whole lot of the game, but I watched the final 8 minutes or so when they blew a, 9-point lead? I think it was 23 to 14. Something like that. Illinois scored with 5 minutes, 6, 7 minutes to go in the game to make it a, 2-point game, 23-21. And then on 3rd and 5, all Wisconsin really has to do is get a first down. You got Jonathan Taylor back there. Did you forget that? Instead, redshirt freshman Jack Cohn throws his second pick of the year. I think it was just his second pick of the year, but they hardly throw the ball at all. Couldn't have come at a worse time. And then Illinois just runs the ball into field goal range. I mean, the Wisconsin tackling was pathetic. And good for the Fighting Illini and Lovie Smith. Good for them. I'm happy for them. That'll probably save his job, because I read something that Illinois had lost 25 out of their last 30 Big Ten conference games. Something crazy like that. I mean, inexcusable for Paul Chryst in Wisconsin. I mean, just absolute garbage. So here they are coming into Ohio Stadium now with a chip on their shoulders, I guess. They're like, well, crap, we got caught looking ahead. We're going to get their full attention. We were going to get their full attention anyway, all right? Nothing has changed on that front. But what has changed, I think, is the mindset of our guys. And Ryan Day's going to have to combat this now. Because if I'm watching that game, and I'm thinking, these are the supposed world beaters, number 1 defense in the country, and then Illinois puts up 24 on them? I'm just sitting here thinking, wow, Buckeyes are going to win this game by 3 touchdowns. And I have to think the Buckeyes on the team that are watching that game are surprised by that outcome, and they're like, wow, well, maybe they're not as good. And it puts a little doubt in their heads. And Ryan Day is going to have to combat that, because we know we're getting their very best this Saturday at frickin' noon. I am happy about Ohio State's win. Corey talked the majority about that in his supporters video. Ohio State wins 52-3 at Northwestern on Friday night. My guy J.K. Dobbins cementing his case as a top 3 back in the country. I mean, the guy is outrageous. And I look for him to have a really big game on Saturday He's heard for 3 years is Jonathan Taylor, Jonathan Taylor, Jonathan Taylor. How about J.K. Dobbins? He says I'm the best back in the country. Well, the stats are fairly identical, minus the touchdowns, because they just feed Taylor every single time. And Justin Fields has like 30 touchdowns in 7 games, so that's going to take away from some of his Heisman hype. But I think J.K. Dobbins is going to run like a man possessed on Saturday, and I'm excited to see it. As for upcoming events, we will have the Everything Buckeye Nation show live Wednesday night, the 23rd, 6:30 to 7:30, right here. As always, myself, Corey Boyd. Hopefully, producer G. I think he's got to work, but he's going to set everything up for us anyway, like the G he is. So appreciate those two as well, and all of you. Let me know what you think about this Wisconsin game, man. I don't know. I'm really bummed that they lost because now it's got that effect on us perception-wise, because I don't want any sort of excuse to come in from the national media to be like, well, because if we win by 3 touchdowns, they're going to say, well, clearly Wisconsin wasn't that good. If they came in here undefeated, 7-0, number 6 in the country, number 1 defense in the country, and we beat them by 3 touchdowns, then people are like, damn, Ohio State's really good. That's not the case now. And we're fighting for the number 1 or number 2 seed in the playoffs. Yeah, I just want to get in. That's great. But if you have the 1 or the 2 seed, you basically pick your location for the bowl. You know, especially if you're the 1 seed, you get to pick which area, you want to play in, which bowl game you want to play in for your crowd, your fan base, whichever you think is going to be better. I mean, the Superdome, if the Sugar Bowl is like, that's basically a home game for Alabama. I don't want that. I want to have that every advantage possible, but it is what it is. So that's all I got for you. We'll see you on Wednesday night, 6:30, right about this time. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling. Appreciate you guys. As Corey said, we love you guys so much. Wouldn't be here without you, so remember that. And I'll talk to you all on Wednesday, all right? Go Bucks. Appreciate you. See you soon.